When Shuri became the new Black Panther in Wakanda Forever, it seemed natural that, as the protector of the people, should also be their queen. But the movie's ending makes it seem like our favorite princess made a different choice. Before everything happened, ritual battles were the only way to decide who should be king. In this video, we'll talk about Shuri giving up the throne and how Namor is different from the comic version. First off, how T'Challa's death changed Wakanda's leading rules. After T'Challa's death, the leader of Wakanda no longer had to be a superhero who could defend their country in a fistfight. The fights were no longer needed. This made it clear that the Queen Mother should take over from her husband and son. Queen Ramona showed that Wakanda could be protected in other ways. She uses her wit and relationships with people like Everett Ross to keep Wakanda safe as it enters a new era as a world superpower. In another bad turn of events, the Queen dies while protecting Riri Williams during the battle with the Talokan. This leaves Wakanda without a leader or a protector. Namor took Shuri's last name, but he also gave her the secret ingredient she needed to make the lost herb and become the new Black Panther. This could have led to a return to the old ways, where the Black Panther is also the monarch, but anyone who's watched Shuri closely knows that this isn't her style. She thinks ahead and isn't a strict follower of old customs. Her mind builds on what's been done before, and she sees the possibilities of what could be. Up next, Shuri doesn't follow tradition. Shuri was always less traditional than the people around her. This might have been because she was younger and from a different generation, or her scientific mind might have made her less likely to believe magical stories about the ancestral planes. She's always been a wild force of nature. When we first met her, she was dressed in modern clothes, unlike her mother and brother. When T'Challa asked her about her ceremonial outfit, she gave him the finger. She's never been one to act a certain way just because that's what was expected of her, and that is why we love her. That's not all, though. She's clearly in charge of her lab, and whether she's a princess or not, she has shown many times that she is skilled and intelligent and deserves her position. Shuri's a technological marvel. She's responsible for much of Wakanda's technological progress and has saved many lives thanks to her work. If they had more time, she would have been able to separate Vision from the Mind Stone.
Oh, surprise. My little sister came to see me off before our big day.
You wish. I'm here for the EMP beats. I've developed an update.
Update? No, yet what?
Her work is essential to her and the future of Wakanda. If she doesn't split her attention, she'll be able to help her country in the best way. Followed by, Shuri leads Wakanda to a better future. After everything that happens, Okoye and Shuri come to a new understanding of each other in Wakanda Forever. Okoye starts to see her as an equal, as she used to see and love T'Challa. Her willingness to change is another step toward letting Shuri be her true best self instead of forcing her into a life she doesn't want. M'Baku and Shuri's relationship has also improved over time, even though we don't see them talk much before Wakanda Forever. When we first met M'Baku, he told us that his tribe, the Jabari, was upset that Wakanda's technology and progress had been overseen by a child who laughs at tradition. After this, we can see how the relationship between M'Baku and T'Challa changed. That's why it seems likely that Shuri's relationship also changed similarly. When Jabari saved T'Challa's life and helped him fight Killmonger, they gained a grudging respect for each other. When they fought together again against Thanos, that respect turned into a brotherhood. In Wakanda Forever, after her mother dies, M'Baku tells Shuri that T'Challa asked him to take care of her. He then asks Shuri for advice, and it's then when she asks him why he'd want advice from a child who doesn't respect tradition. He says he doesn't see her that way anymore because the world's taken too much away from her for her to ever be a child again. He believes in her, trusts her, and thinks she's good enough to be a Black Panther. Moving on to Shuri decides to give up the throne. It still came as a surprise when she decided to give up the throne. When the people of Wakanda gather at the Warrior Falls and chant her name, just as they did when they chanted her brother's name, they all want Shuri to be their new queen. But it looks like Shuri's decided to go her own way and turn down the crown, as we see when M'Baku shows up instead of Shuri and issues the challenge. Even though she would have made a great queen, she has again chosen to do things her way.
That one over there. This will be the first Wakanda International Outreach Center.
This isn't because she wants to break with tradition, but because she wants to make it better. Just because something works doesn't mean it can't be better, says our favorite princess. Shuri would have betrayed everything that makes her who she is if she would have taken on the role of queen. She'll do her country and her nephew, who will be the next king, a lot more good if she focuses on being the best Black Panther she can be. Now, let's look at how Namor from Wakanda Forever is different from the comic version. You'd be surprised to learn that the MCU made many changes from the comic book version of the character. Namor, the Submariner is the name of the character in the comics. He first appeared in Marvel Comics #1 in 1939. This was published by Timely Comics, which came before Marvel Comics. He has a long history, which can only be touched on briefly in one movie. It makes sense since there wasn't enough time to get into all that. So how does Namor in the MCU compare to his long-running comic book self? Not to mention, who exactly is he in the comics? What we can read about Namor's past is long and complicated, so we'll just talk about the most important parts here. Marvel's first mutant was born in the capital city of Atlantis. He was the child of an American sea captain and Princess Finn, the Atlantean daughter of Emperor Thakor. His pink skin made him stand out from his blue-skinned Atlantean family. His unique genes also gave him superhuman strength, speed, agility, longevity, and the ability to withstand extreme underwater pressures. Soon he became known as the Prince of Atlantis and fought against those who lived on the surface to protect the kingdom. Let's learn more about other things he did in the comics. Namor was so dedicated to his role that, depending on how the situation affected the people of Atlantis, he could easily be the villain or hero. This is very different from the Namor we see in the movie. Just look at when he first showed up. He was seen as an enemy of the United States. He threatened to bury Manhattan under a tidal wave because of what the US did. But when World War II started, Namor joined the Allies to fight Germany, a bigger threat to Atlantis. Namor's loyalty to Atlantis led him to work with heroes like the Defenders, the Avengers, and the X-Men. Talk about being unpredictable. He's worked with bad guys like Dr. Doom and Thanos over the years. That's not all, though. Namor also has ties to Canadian super team Alpha Flight after being married to team member Marina for some time. Finally, how's the MCU Namor different? Namor from the MCU is also a mutant, but he got that way for a different reason. In the new history of the MCU, at least two vibranium meteors hit Earth, one in Wakanda and another in the Pacific Ocean near the coast of Mexico. The second meteor caused an underwater herb to grow, just like the heart-shaped herb in Wakanda that gives Black Panther his superpowers. In 1571, a shaman in a Mesoamerican community saw a vision that told people to eat the herb. This gives them gills, the ability to swim quickly, more strength, agility, and form bonds with other underwater animals. Mesoamericans left their home country to escape the cruelty of the Spanish colonizers. They built Talocan, a hidden underwater kingdom, not Atlantis, which DC's Aquaman had already claimed. Namor's mother was one of these people. She was pregnant when she ate the plant. This changed Namor while he was still in his mother's womb, giving him different skills like living for a long time and having lungs that could breathe air. This Namor has a different skin color than his blue-skinned relatives. He's also been alive for hundreds of years, and his unique abilities have led the people of Talocan to think of the king of Talocan as a god. And on that note, that's a wrap for this video. What do you think of Shuri giving up the throne in Wakanda forever? Do you think she'd be a better leader or a scientist? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, and we'll see you in the next one.